concerns. I don't know if you got my email.
I do. This is the same thing you sent me, right?
Yeah. And so I guess we're just kind of wondering if you have a little bit of an update, or what should we expect this month?
Not really. I mean, the bill is, I don't know if you know, I mean, the bill just came into print today.
It just came in today, revised?
It's in print today. So you can find it online now, the August 5th version. I'm not sure what version you guys are reacting to, or
don't have.
No.
We're reacting to as it came out of
Public safety.
I haven't seen.
It's been redrafted since then. Probably not to your liking, I would assume.
No, I just got to reading it on the way out here.
The August 5th version?
As far as I know, that was the latest revised version.
The best thing you could do is whoever, if you're the spokesperson or whatever your group is, it's not good to be amending bills like this in August, wholesale 40-page rewrites. It's crap, frankly.
So they just gutted it again and put more stuff in it again?
It's not so much gutted as it is redrafted, and so, but it's kind of a moving target. It makes it harder for opponents and supporters to weigh in. So the best thing you can do is take a look at the current version of it, and then, the best thing you can do is then shoot me a note saying, here's the 5 things we just can't live with, or the 10 things, or whatever it is that you guys can't handle.
There you are.
What are your major gripes with it at the moment?
Well, some of our major gripes were just that the permitting process wasn't on scope and to scale, so it would push off a lot of the traditional providers. We'd also like to see some sort of framework at the state level for minimum standard of care for low-income and disabled patients. It seems like they're writing the law for adult recreational, sort of, and we're not really...
Well, the thing was largely driven by law enforcement. It gives great credence, obviously, to local jurisdictions. Lets the locals call the shots, basically. The locals don't. The local jurisdiction says no dispensaries, no cultivation, then that's it. Locals trump in this bill.
Yeah.
Patient, little feedback from them on a continual basis. Not just one person making a decision behind closed doors.
Yeah, and we feel very like the process, each of us probably represents another 300 patients that aren't getting represented at the table. As far as we know, the industry lobbyists have been meeting with, I assume, John Lovell and the lobbyists from the law enforcement side, but yet...
Well, the best thing you guys can do is probably dovetail with the, as you say, the industry folks, because I think at the moment, they don't even know what's in the bill now, but at the moment, most of the industry folks appear to be opposing the bill as well.
I think there's only one group that supports it, and that's the Americans for Safe Access, from what I've been reading
I'm
online.
not sure they're supporting anymore.
Are they backing out too?
I'm not sure. It's changing. That's one of the problems. Is you got a bill that just is constantly changing. You're already discussing changes to the changes. It just came into print today. Generally, things like this fall apart. Don't happen generally.
Because nobody can really grab a hold of it?
Except that the situation you have here is that you've got law enforcement supporting it, and law enforcement holds a lot of sway around here.
Well, yeah, they can call up a mayor.
so there, and so you've got local governments are kind of split. I've received letters saying they support the bill, some local governments oppose the bill. The one thing that unites them is nobody knows what's in the bill.
Well, at least we're not on our lonesome here trying to figure this out.
So anyway, it's not clear. The bill isn't going to be heard in our committee until next Wednesday.
Okay, so it is going to be suspended for tomorrow, and then...
It's not going to be heard tomorrow. It's going to be heard next Wednesday.
And then next Wednesday, do you think it's going to get... I mean, it seems kind of strange that it would get out if it's changing so much.
Hard to know. Whether sometimes deals come together, sometimes they don't. I wouldn't even want to guess.
So basically, there's a week for a deal to come together before it would be passed to the floor this session.
Yeah. And
so it's good we're here today.
The administration has not weighed in. Department of Consumer Affairs has not weighed in and done a cost. I'll put a really heavy cost on it because it's expensive. create a whole bureau and so forth. It's tens of millions of dollars.
Oh, you can come on through.
The space where you got
The costs will be, and then, the fees are specified at the moment. It's up to $8,000 for a professional license. That's probably not enough to cover the cost, frankly. And it doesn't specify right now what the cost would be for, ongoing licensure.
I do want to interview with this longest gentleman right here.
It kind of makes it possible for a lot of low
What's that?
income and homeless people trying to actually survive that. How much that charges.
Well, that's for the dispensaries.
Right, but the cost will be passed on to us. So every time they go through a permitting process, the first thing they say to us is, "Oh, the reason it's another $5 on your medicine is because now we have to go through this permitting cost."
Sure.
And our medicine already, for most of us as disabled people, when we get...
Sure. But even the Amiano bill that, got 23 votes on the Assembly floor, which was the regulation bill that all the industry folks supported.
Right.
Even that bill would have had huge.
Oh yeah, and there's
If you're
nothing...
going to cover the cost, it's going to be, I don't know, I was guessing $10,000 a license last when the Amiano bill came through. So it's really difficult to say.
And the problem with that is...
And nobody's getting a chance to look at this, so the administration won't even be able to kind of cost it out. So far, they've been kind of silent on it. We don't know where they are. So that's about all. I can't even tell you much more than that. It's not clear which way this is going to go.
Okay, so we're hoping to... James?
If I could, in the absence of law to refer to, let me go back at this backward from need. I've been in San Francisco Bay Area 40 years. I work with lots of groups of peers that have advocates for hubs of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of groups of patients and disabled voters who all have been able to ease their pain and suffering over decades of relationships throughout Northern California by one-on-one relationship with growers and collectives and things like that. In a not-for-profit, it's a family sharing environment. So the problem that we have is that in San Francisco we use this as harm reduction. We take hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of violent people that are on big pharma drugs and liquor and we get them medicated. We can only do that when we have small grows and we can scale up to a large enough scale to where you got 100 people in a group to be able to afford $5 a gram and $100 an ounce high quality medicine to prevent all the harm and suffering and cost and damage that goes with it to our community. If we reverse that trend and have external factors writing laws that don't provide us with a shield of protection, you're going to have tens of thousands of people that are going to have to turn to hard drugs and be desperate because they can't afford $50 an eighth cannabis and they can't afford $400 ounces.
I don't disagree. This bill does stipulate, it doesn't apply to a patient who cultivates and processes their own stuff for medical marijuana purposes only, and it doesn't distribute or sell to anyone else. And it doesn't apply to a primary caregiver who deals with only up to 5. Come on through, Michael. Who deals with only up to 5 medical marijuana patients. I'm not defending it. I'm saying that's what this would apply to.
It apply to someone like me who's getting ready to get back into training, go back into work without this medicine. I'm a burden on society forever. If we pass laws like this, I'm a burden on the taxpayer. I come up from a family that created this country. The last thing I want to be is a burden on my taxpayer.
Well, the best thing you guys can do, as I was telling Sean, is not much more I can tell you because, as I said, it just came into print today. The best thing you can do is what you're doing now. I would also encourage you, even though you're not always aligned probably with the industry folks, the ones that are, certainly most of them are opposing it, is to associate with them in terms of your opposition to this bill at the moment.
The meetings, we like for the meetings to be represented more openly. We don't want to close. We want all these good ideas that we have that are really practical ideas. We want them to be heard, equally inside. We don't want closed meetings.
Because you cut out the poor, it overwhelms the hospitals, and it only costs the taxpayers a lot of money.
I got you. I'm just telling you where it is right now.
Hey you guys, we've had communication from DPA, so we've had some back and forth.
DPA is approving.
Yes. So we've had some back and forth with Amanda Reedman from DPA. We've both been posting each other's policy pieces. So we have sort of a relationship with her. I just got a call from Lynette Davies, who is a local Sacramento dispensary owner, and she's going to be meeting us down in Tom Amiano's office, and she is flipped out about the new version of August Fit. She hit the ceiling, so...
I don't know. I personally don't know that they should have
rewrote the whole thing in the 11th hour?
I would have, frankly, if up to me, I would have just killed the creative bill and let it go and try to come back next year with a real bill. But
that's what I'd like to do.
On the other hand, Amiano tried. He got 23 votes. So there's a reality here that he's got to deal with, and he's trying to put something together. But as a result of the bill that comes into print today, Amiano and his staff are, I love Tom Amiano, but they're already rewriting this. And that makes it very difficult for anybody to kind of get a sense of where things are.
Yeah, and when we try to sort of educate each other as patient advocates, it's really difficult when, I guess I'm glad to know I'm not the only person that feels that this is a constant moving target.
You guys got your heads chopped off running like headless chickens in a way.
Well, this is I would never defend this process. You've got, doing something in August in the second year of a session. It's very difficult. But, Tom Amiano is trying to do the right thing and he's trying to get something together. Whether he can, I have no idea.
And so if it doesn't move out of committee next week, then would it be held over to the next, we would have till next session to rewrite?
It's dead then.
And then it's dead, and then we would need to come back with an entirely new piece for the next session.
And you're going to have to identify a member who cares about your issues. A legislator who really cares about your issues. Amiano is, I think, by far the leading light in that regard.
Well, all of us are his constituents, but he's
He's going to be gone.
Yeah, I know. Then we have David or David, both of whom we
I have no
know.
idea.
We've got David Chu or David Campos, who will be replacing Tom Amiano. And both of them are pretty open to hearing from us and know us.
They are, but they don't have Tom's clout and basic knowledge on this stuff.
No.
So he's been
Any
trying.
patient advocates that's on the board? Is there any patient advocates?
They haven't met with any patient advocates.